Hey, and welcome to our review of Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter Resort and Room Tour. That's pretty good.
That was good. Just kept going.
My name is Todd.
And I'm Jeannie.
And we are Empty Besties. And what that means is that we are newly empty nesters and best friends. And we just make these videos to show our daughter since she went away to college, and it keeps us from crying in our pillows.
Nobody loves me.
Now, on top of all that, we are theme park, would I say fanatics?
We are fans.
We are big fans.
Yes.
Especially Disney.
Mm-hmm.
We got engaged there. Mm-hmm. We honeymoon there. Mm-hmm. You marathon there. Uh-huh. I watched you marathon there. And we've practically raised our daughter Morgan there. Whether or not we are experts remains to be seen.
We're trying to get there.
But we have an opinion, and that's all that matters in this world.
Yes.
Now, in terms of expertise, so we have stayed at a number of resorts on property at Disney World.
Yes, we have.
Now, Port Orleans is a moderate resort, but it's actually chopped up in two different sections. Mm-hmm. You have your French Quarter, which is more of your New Orleans style theme, which is very cool. And then there's Riverside, which used to be called Dixie Landings, and it is a little bigger, but it also has like an old South plantation vibe, which we've never really found appealing. And that's why we chose Port Orleans French Quarter, and I'm so glad that we did. We wrote a review about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes. All right, so let's first off talk about Port Orleans French Quarter's overall layout. The first thing you have is the main lobby building that contains all of your retail and food options and things of that nature. Surrounding that are the buildings that contain your rooms, and then within the middle of all of that, centrally located, are all of the recreational things like the pool and stuff like that. Now, in terms of transportation, if you're looking at the lobby straight on, for those of us that are directionally challenged, to the left of the lobby is where the bus stops are, so that's important to get to the parks. Other than that, at the back of the resort, near the Sassagoula River, is where the river taxi is, and you can take that to Disney Springs. Mm-hmm. So that's the overall lay of the land. Let's get into the details. Let's start off with when you're approaching the resort as a whole. It's beautiful.
It is.
It is obviously New Orleans architecture and theming. The landscaping is gorgeous. You were talking about how you felt it looked mature.
Yeah, mature in like the trees. I mean, I think it's been around for like 30 years. 1991. And one thing I can say is that even though it's a huge resort, lots of rooms, but it didn't feel like there were a lot of people there. It just felt like very serene, even though you were with other people.
It definitely has a really charming vibe.
Morgan is into vibes.
We like the vibe. What did you think when we first approached the hotel?
Oh, I mean, I liked the nice fountain when you walked in. Mm-hmm. It was very calming. It's a good feature.
No, it definitely sets the tone for the whole resort. So to the right of that wonderful fountain, you'll find your check-in, which is all of the things you'd expect to check in, people to check you in. We did not do check-in though. We did the mobile check-in, and it was wonderful. Now don't get me wrong, I love chatting with wonderful Disney cast members. We didn't need to do that. I apologize. I miss you guys. But cool. If you have any issues or you need help checking in, that's where you would do it, right to the right of the fountain. Mm-hmm. So right next to check-in is the resort's retail space, yes. Jackson Square Gifts and Desires, which sounds really sexy. I expected to see lingerie and all kinds of things.
But it was a little more base type of desires, like alcohol.
Yeah, food.
Candy. Chips. T-shirts for the gifts.
I mean, I think alcohol and chips, big desire on my list.
Big.
Yeah, really big. All jokes aside, it's your traditional Disney retail. You've got all the souvenirs you could want, apparel, stuff you might need for the parks, pins and pin trading. You actually got a pin there?
Yeah, I got a Port Orleans themed pin that had Tiana.
Oh yeah.
Which was very nice.
They did have some Scat Club merchandise, like a mug, that I kind of regret not getting. Yeah. But overall, the retail space there is really nice. Yeah. Everything you could possibly want.
Including like little sundries like toothpaste and Tylenol and Band-Aids and first aid things too.
Yeah, all the things that you might have forgot that you want to pay double and triple for, they've got you covered.
Yeah.
And then past Jackson Square Gifts and Desires is the arcade. It's the South Quarter Games arcade, and it's got everything you'd expect.
And some things that you don't expect.
What didn't you expect?
A giant Galaga game.
Oh my goodness.
And by giant, I mean like you had to stand up It was huge, and I like Galaga and Centipede. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, a giant Galaga.
And it's a great place if
Yeah.
you just want to kind of beat the heat, and it's a lot of fun. All right, now if you go back to the lobby, back to the fountain, if you look to the left of the fountain, that is going to be where all of your food options are.
Yes.
The main food option over there is the Sassagoula, Floatworks, and Food Factory.
Yes.
I don't remember any floats. Maybe they have Coke floats.
Well, you know, in New Orleans, they have all of the floats for Mardi Gras, like all the
Oh,
paper mache
yeah, that would make
and
a lot of
the
sense.
big heads and the hands.
You're spot on. It's not about Coke floats.
It's
so
not,
I
it's
stand
not.
corrected. The Sassagoula, Floatworks, and Food Factory is a quick service
Food court style.
food court style. Yeah, exactly. It's got a number of stations where you can pick and choose what you'd like depending on time of day. On top of that, you do have some New Orleans style themed food as well, like po' boys and jambalaya and gumbo. Plus, they do have a pretty robust vegan and allergy menu,
Right.
which I totally appreciate. And then on top of that, you got all your beverage options or more grown folks drinks. They have all those things available there as well. Now keep in mind, this is the only full dining option at Port Orleans French Quarter. There is no sit-down restaurant at Port Orleans French Quarter. There is one over at Riverside if you want to take a quick little walk over there, but we never really had an issue with it because I feel like we eat at so many other restaurants in the parks. But at the end of the day, I think the Sassagoula Floatworks and Food Factory is great for a quick bite before or after your day's adventures. But that is not the only food option at the resort. There is also the Scat Café. That is where you find the beignets.
The beignets.
And coffee. Your fancy coffee. You know, they got the cappuccinos, the espressos, and all the good coffee there.
They also have the chicory coffee that
Ooh.
they serve at Café Dumont in New Orleans. So it's a different tasting type of coffee, but it's very New Orleans specific.
But most importantly, they got the beignets. With all the dipping sauces, and we started every morning at this place. And I wish I could start every morning at this place. It's a wonderful spot, and it's the only place where you can get gluten-free beignets on property.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
that is a bonus. If you stay there, definitely a great place to start your day. And then right next to the Scat Cat Cafe is the Scat Cat Club.
Up in the club.
Okay. Now, if you were going to start every morning at the Scat Cat Cafe, I would recommend ending each day at the Scat Cat Club.
Because all the cool cats are in the Scat Cat Club.
Well, they were when we were there.
Yes.
The Scat Cat Club is this incredible jazz club with a full bar and some fun food, and we loved it.
Yeah, and it's very reminiscent of Frenchman Street in New Orleans, where they have the smaller clubs, where there's like an area for dancing, small tables where you can sit and listen to music.
And they do have some specialty food and drinks. You had the Baton Rouge beignets.
Yes, those were really good. There was a Kahlua filling, Bailey's filling.
Yep.
And there was a rum chata filling. So you had the beignet, and then it had the little syringe with the filling, and then you squeeze it, and you kind of fill it up with the flavor. And it was good. It was interesting. It was interesting.
They're fun. Beyond that, you had one of the specialty cocktails.
Well, I had a Scissorac. I think that's how you say it. It's a drink that is found served a lot in New Orleans.
Okay. Specifically, Knob Creek Rye Whiskey, agave nectar, some bitters with a splash of Pernod.
Yeah.
Pernod.
Yeah.
Pernod?
Per something.
I know it was like $20 per drink. That's all I know what it was. But the best part about it is the live music.
Yes, the band.
And they were wonderful.
They were.
And it was really just a great end to our day. But I think the combination of the live music, the fun beignets, the drinks, just the atmosphere.
It gives it a different vibe.
It's just
for
really,
sure.
it feels really unique
I agree,
to
I agree.
the resort and just Disney World proper. So I really love this place.
It was great.
And if you're thinking about staying at Port Orleans French Quarter, the Scat Cat Club is definitely a selling point. All right, so let's go outside.
Where it's hot.
So coming out the back of the lobby, you come to all of the outdoor recreational stuff.
And then that area kind of mimics Jackson Square, right? There's a bunch of different little activities. Like there was a little chessboard on one side.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's like the alligators.
So right around where the alligators are getting down, to the left of that, you've got a hot tub. If you've decided that you want to cook yourself and the Florida weather has not done that trick for you.
Yes.
And then to the right of the gators, You've got a little playground area for the little ones. And then past the alligators, you've got your swimming pool.
Yeah, and the pool was very cool.
Yeah, it is Doubloon Lagoon.
Yeah, and it is very much geared towards the kids.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. You've got a big giant serpent slide that's pretty sweet. On top of that, you've got a little water play area. You've got a whirlpool spa area. It's definitely a very energetic, fun pool area. What I will say is that if you're looking for something a little more serene, there are some smaller pools over at the Riverside part of the resort. You can certainly walk over there and take advantage of those if you want a little more peace and quiet.
And then there was a bar next to the pool.
Yeah, not far from the pool if you want to swim in some grown-up drinks. They have the Mardi Gras bar. That seems like it would be a great place to hang out. And you know, and I'm a big fan of taking a midday break, coming back to the hotel, going for a swim, having a drink, and then go back to the parks later. So this is definitely a fun way to do that if you've got little ones, and then you got some grown folks that want to do some fun things as well on a stool. So beyond the pool, if walking 20,000 steps a day in the parks isn't enough for you, let's talk about some other recreational activities that you can find at the resort.
Yes.
One of them is not a gym.
Not a gym. Not a gym.
No. Come to find out, there are no gyms at any of the moderate resorts outside of Coronado Springs.
Which was unfortunate.
But going back to the outdoor space at the resort, there is a 1 mile paved path that runs around the resort. So you can certainly do some walking and running. On top of that, there are some other options. You can do some bike rental.
I think they have fishing.
Ooh, they have fishing.
Yeah, but I thought I saw some boats out there.
Catch some gators.
Yeah. No gators.
Put them to work at the Scat Club, because apparently they play saxophone.
Yes.
And then I think in the evening they do some campfires, probably some s'mores, things like that. And then, you know, they always do the outdoor movies at the resorts as well.
I think that's a really nice way to let the little ones explore nighttime at Disney without having to be in the parks.
Yeah, you can get them to shut up and watch the movie, just like you do at home. Beyond that, there are carriage rides, apparently.
Oh.
Which sounds really fancy.
It does.
I don't know if they do necessarily have the horses cart you around in the 100-degree heat of summer. But, you know, if you can't find enough things to do in the parks, there's a couple things to do at the resort.
Yeah.
All right, now let's talk about the rooms. There are 7 buildings total on property there. And like all real estate, location is everything. So when booking or checking in, these are the things that you might want to think about. So we stayed in building number 4, which I thought was great. It's the closest building to the bus stop. It's also right next door to the main building. So you're really close to the food and the retail and all that sort of stuff. What else do you need? Buildings 2 and 5 are closest to the pool. And building number 3 is similar to 4 in the fact that it's very close to the main building, but it's a little farther away from the bus stop. Now the rest of the buildings out of that 7 are a little farther out, so if you want a little more peace and quiet, then maybe those are optimal for you. But with all that being said, and we were talking about this earlier, that Port Orleans French Quarter is one of the most compact resorts on Disney property. So overall, you're really truly never that far away from anything. Which I think is a big deal. And I'm looking at you, Caribbean Beach. And finally, let's take a look at our room. Now inside the room itself, it's a decent sized room.
I will say that it was very well decorated. We had 2 queen size beds and they had storage underneath.
I'm a big fan of that.
And then they had a Mickey Alexa in the room.
I think we talked to it once or twice and then we were like, yeah, we get it. If
Alexa.
it's not bringing me beignets, then you're no good to me.
Was it in Mickey's voice though?
I wish it would wake me up in Mickey's voice. Like, get your up! Rope drop,
Funny. But the beds were comfortable, the pillows were comfortable.
And a little bit of Mickey magic on the bed when we arrived was kind of nice. And then of course you've got your standard dresser, which only psychopaths take out their clothes and put it in the dresser. That had a fridge as well, so you could put your leftovers and leave that for housekeeping later, because you know you're never gonna eat your leftovers.
Yeah.
Never gonna eat
It's
those.
not a thing.
That doesn't happen. Then you got the closet area with the safe, and then you had a little shelf with hooks on it that you could put your little Loungefly backpacks on, which is always great. You got to be able to display those properly.
Absolutely.
And then near the window there was a table and chairs, which is nice, you know, whether you're coming into your room to eat or drink or do a little bit of work. Good place to shovel food in my mouth.
Exactly. Then the bathroom, we had 2 sinks, which doesn't seem like a big deal until you have to share a sink with a teenager. And then there was a sink bathroom divider. It was just a curtain.
Oh yeah.
But I thought that was excellent because people could be sleeping. You can block out the light and still be able to navigate taking a shower, using the bathroom, washing your face, brushing your teeth. And then there was a separate bathroom area.
You had your bathtub, shower, and the royal throne there. The bathtub had its own little fancy shower curtain, and you had your soap dispensers on the wall down to keep you from pocketing all the little Mickey Mouse shampoos. So overall, I think the room was very comfortable, very well themed, and I think it was just enough room for the 3 of us, you know, meaning the 2 of us and our daughter Morgan. The room overall, very nice.
Very nice, very nice.
So final thoughts on the resort as a whole. I absolutely love Port Orleans French Quarter. I think the theming is amazing, and the fact that it is a compact resort does make it feel almost like a little boutique hotel. But I think overall, my favorite thing at the resort is the Scat Cat Club.
Yeah, that was great. But this is really lovely. I wouldn't mind staying there again.
I agree, and I think, you know, if you're looking for a moderately priced resort, this might be one of my favorite moderately priced resorts for sure. So tell us, have you been to Port Orleans French Quarter? What did you think about it? What are your favorite resorts to stay at when you're at Disney World? Let us know. And if you like our faces and what we talk about, hit that subscribe button, like it, turn on notifications, maybe set an alarm and just check every once in a while to see if we posted anything. More than likely not, because it takes forever to do these. But no matter what, we always appreciate you watching. So until next time, bye.